Good afternoon, and welcome to the Sunset Safari. My name is Jamie, and this afternoon, Sebastian is behind the camera. Now, we're coming to you live from a place called Djuma Private Game Reserve, which is in one of the most beautiful places in all the world, the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. Now, this is a live and interactive safari, so send through your questions on hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Alternatively, you can get hold of us on the YouTube comment section. But a very warm welcome, especially to all of the Nat Geo kids joining us from across the globe. If your kids would like to send through their questions, then parents, you can email them to us at natgeokids@wildearth.tv. And just to make that very clear, natgeokids@wild, like where we are in the wild with wild animals, earth, like the thing that we all live on, .tv, like television. There you go. Just to fully clarify that, right, our plan for the afternoon. Well, I'm not alone out here. Tristan is working with me. Oh, I forgot how to drive. It's a bit of an odd clutch thing there. The plan for the afternoon is to avoid the rain at all costs, which unfortunately is looking relatively unlikely. It is a gloomy day. We have a roof on. And the off chance that it does decide to pour down upon our heads. And we are following up together with Tristan on a host of vultures. I would say there were probably at one point close on 25, 30 vultures, possibly even more, and marabou storks and tawny eagles, and a very, very familiar feeling of deja vu. Now, this morning the lions were seen just to the west of where the vultures are, so my thinking or my hoping is that they actually have managed to catch something. Now, that would be really good because the lions were hungry this morning. So that is the plan for now. Who knows what other wonderful directions this afternoon will take us. At the moment, it appears as though it is raining. Surprise! What did Tristan say to me before he went out? We don't need our roofs. It's not going to rain. Jamie, remember when you said it was going to rain and it didn't? Well, look who's eating their words. And who kept their roof on. And so, on we go. Trista's actually wandering about on foot at the moment, just checking the area where we think the vultures were. I'm going to do a quick loop around. I'm going to loop around and I'm going to go and see where the lions were and whether or not they are, well, still there. Because we could actually be being completely misled, as has happened to me in the past, although, why is it always with you, Seb? Come to think of it.
Yeah, the vultures.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happened to us twice before. Where Seb and I have been looking at vultures going, no, there's something here, definitely. And we spend about an hour going round and round and round and round and we don't find anything. And I think we even put the drone up, didn't we, that one time?
Yes.
Well, we found nothing. So, all in all, it seems to happen to us. And for that reason, because of these false expectations that I've had to learn to live with, I'm going to go and check where the lions were, just in case they've decided it would be a really good idea to be on the property next door, which is known as Arethusa. I say property, there's no fence or anything, so the animals are free to come and go. I would really love to find the lions. It is, of course, Saturday here at Wild Earth. I'm just going to check under their favourite Balanites tree. Just because I'm here, I want to go that way, but we'll just check here first. Not that they have any reason to be under a tree today. So we'll just go and have a quick look-see here. Give me one moment. Standing by. Go ahead, Trist. He called me and no, he doesn't want to speak to me. I'm let down. No lions under there. Tristan? of baboon tracks, and I haven't heard any baboon alarm calls today. Okay, copy. I'm just going to go check where they were. There were tracks of kudu running, but tracks of kudu running backwards and forwards. I just went to Rebecca's and on to Zoe's, and my plan was then to come back and drive from that 2-track that runs from the little Zoe's link. Tristan is very chatty right now. I'm really sorry, everyone. I almost forgot I was live. He was chatting for so long. Okay, copy. Right, where was I? I was chattering away to Tristan. Sorry about that. We just had to clarify exactly where we're all going to go and to make sure that we don't, you know, waste our time checking where the other person has checked. I'm sure that there's been something, but what might have happened is that they've fed already and then taken off, and then one's landed and then another's landed and another's landed and so on until they've all gathered together. Now let us go and see. I've got a terrible feeling of deja vu. Same thing. Lauren had the lions, then she told me where they were. It was the same place and they weren't there. Okay. I'm going to go and search for the lions. Hopefully Tristan is feeling as chatty as he was feeling earlier when he says hello to you.
Well, good luck, Jamie. Hopefully you will get some luck and you'll be able to find those tawny cats, and that they'll be somewhere kind of close by to where she is now, and hopefully it won't be too difficult to find them. Now, as Jamie mentioned, my name is Tristan. On camera, I've got Craig this afternoon, and it is a warm welcome to all of you that are joining us, and hopefully it's going to be a nice afternoon. It's certainly very cool this afternoon in comparison to what we've been having over the last few days, and we had a bit of rain yesterday, or last night, and so that's generally good for kind of predators and for them to basically be able to hunt and try and find food, and so hopefully we'll be able to find something during the course of the day. Now, we had lots and lots of vultures, which I'm sure Jamie told you about, and they were kind of spread out all over the place through this area, and so we're just trying to see if we can find any sign of what's caused all these vultures to land and to be sitting on the trees, because often when you get lots of vultures like this mixed with things like tawny eagles and marabou storks and all kinds of other birds, then it's often a good indication that there's something that's big that is dead. So something like a buffalo or maybe a big kudu or something like that. And often then it's, you know, their sort of presence of vultures, particularly if they're up in the trees, could indicate that there's a predator there. So maybe something like lions that got themselves a meal last night. It could also be where the lions maybe made a kill last night, ate, and then left, and this is just the kind of remains that the vultures are attracted to. But you can see there's 2 vultures that are over there. Now that's only a very, very small percentage of the vultures we actually found when we first started out our afternoon drive. There was probably at least 60 to 70 vultures that were hanging around. There's 2 hooded vultures that are on the edge of that branch, and we know that they're hooded from this distance already just because of the head structure. These guys will have very small heads and very slender beaks, and so they are the smallest of the vultures that we see in this area. And you'll generally find these guys are quite reliable. So when you see hooded vultures mixed in with other vultures, it's generally quite a good sign that there is food. Now, a lot of you are intrigued by these vultures on this grey day? Well, yes, I suppose vultures and greyness go hand in hand, but it's intriguing because we want to know exactly why they're here. So it could be that there's a really nice carcass here, and that there's maybe male lions are on it and they chase the other lions off, or you never know what it could be, and so it's always worth investigating to try and see. But like I say, when you get lots of different species of vulture, marabou stork, tawny eagles, battaliers all together, it's a very good indication that there's a food source that is very fresh. Battaliers and tawny eagles don't associate with very rotten carcasses. They won't come down to those. So when you see them, it's always a good kind of indication. And I've just been trying to watch as we've been kind of sitting. Some of the vultures have taken off and flown, and some have come back and gone. But I've been trying to watch where they kind of descend and if any of them actually go towards the ground. But all of them are landing pretty much on the trees themselves. And so what I think we're going to probably try and do is we're going to try and just see if we can maybe kind of take a bit of a walk through all that section, and maybe we'll be able to come across something that is kind of inside there. Unfortunately, it's very, very thick inside there. So, Rosalind, vultures don't take down their prey for the most part. There are recorded cases of some vultures taking little lambs and things like that, which would be normally if they land on it and kind of use their strong feet to be able to pin it down and then probably just eat it while it's alive. Or you'll find most 99.9% of the time they do what is called scavenging, and so they'll go and they'll feed off dead animals, so animals that have either been killed by predation or have died of natural causes, so have been sick and ill and have then died from that. So it's normally one of those kind of things that you typically will see vultures feeding on, so they don't actually really kill their own stuff very often, and that's why it's quite easy to kind of know that they don't. You know, you can often just see them kind of coming to dead things more than they'll go to live things. But you see the vultures all stop this side, so wherever it is further to our south, I think. There's no vultures all the way up here, so I think it must be kind of on the other side over there, which means we'll have to probably do a bit of a turn and then go across that side and just double check what's going on. But I'm sure we'll be able to find something at some point. Between Jamie and I, we should be able to pick up what's going on. Vicky, you say this is a fun game looking for the vultures. It can be. It can also be an incredibly frustrating game, because sometimes vultures will sit at a tree that's 60, 70, 80, 100 meters from where the carcass is, and you go to the tree and then you look around and around and around and you don't find anything. And especially in a place like where they are at the moment, which is so thick and dense, it's almost impossible to actually see anything other than if you right there and drive on top of the carcass, basically. So it's going to be a bit tricky, but let's see how we go. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll be able to find whatever it is that's inside there. It's certainly going to be quite tricky, I think. It's not an easy place that these vultures have kind of put themselves. Now, of course, while we're driving, we're also just looking for any signs of tracks. It did rain, and which means that some of the tracks have been washed away, but if they've moved out after there's rain, well, then the tracks should show quite nicely, and it'll make it a little easier for us to be able to try and find what we're looking for and what actually could have caused there to be a dead animal in this area. So I believe a lot of you are speculating, you're not really sure what it could be. Well, I mean, I would probably hazard a guess it's maybe a large kudu or maybe a buffalo that was taken by the Nkuhumas. Maybe the evokers came through, chased them off, and they're sitting on it now. Could also just be a natural causes death. Could be a death of an elephant, given that there's lots of ellies around, and sometimes the bulls get a bit feisty with one another and fight. I mean, it's almost impossible to say until such time as we find exactly what we're looking for. But it's going to be a bit tricky, I think. It's, like I say, very, very thick in there and not easy to negotiate. Anyway, we haven't had much luck, but Jamie seems to have had all the luck in the world and has found exactly what she was looking for.
Sometimes it's really easy to find what you're looking for. It doesn't always work that way, but sometimes luck, it just falls in your favor. And as luck would have it, the Nkuhuma Pride are exactly where they were said to be this morning. So there you have it. What a nice surprise. I did not think that was going to be the case because it's been raining all day and nice and cool. And I thought that with their empty bellies, they might have taken advantage of that and gone off hunting. But lo and behold, they have not stirred except to move themselves into an even thicker spot than they were in this morning. So very, very tricky at the moment for us to get a good view of them, especially because I have a roof on. And I actually don't need a roof because it's not raining that hard now. It may well be in a moment. So there you go, some lazy lions for this afternoon. And by lazy lions, I just mean right here at this exact moment in time, they are sleeping. I do not mean that as a species they should be reviled for the sin of laziness. They are not lazy. They hunt for their own food. They cover enormous distances. It just so happens right now they're lazing about. And they're grooming each other. The female with the scarred hip, there she is, that's her. That is our old lady of this pride. Yeah, she's a very old girl, around about 12 or so, give or take. So she is the oldest of all of them, the eldest. Linda says, Catterday is saved. Hello, wonderful. Yes, absolutely. Break out the trumpets. Celebrate in whatever fashion you wish. I hate to tell you, but they're very close to the southern boundary and they do look like they're getting up. But I said that the other day and they proceeded to stay for the entire duration of the safari. So may this be a repeat of that happy, happy event. I certainly hope that is the case. Oh, big stretches. The one looks like she really wants to wake up. Having a proper chest scratch. Like a human lying on their back, rubbing their belly and their chest. I love the way that lions do that. And there's several behind her. I'll bear with me one moment. Never mind, people are talking. I do need to let other people know that there are lions here. They were asking about them earlier. The station's located on the Nkuhuma Pride, same position as this morning on Zoe's Road, just to the north of the fire break. They are still flat. Cool. There we go. That's sorted out. Now remember, don't forget to send all of your questions and comments through. I'm sure we'd love to hear from you. In fact, I know we'd love to hear from you. I have to think of something, some sort of challenge or quiz to get the Saturday afternoon questions rolling. I'll think of something. So I'm currently in the process, in theory, of trying to, I know each and every individual adult lioness here, and I'm currently in the process of trying to reacquaint myself properly with the sub-adults, because of course when I left they were still baby. Negative, Tris, they don't look like they've eaten anything. So, with any type of wild animal, of course, when you first start out, when it comes to looking at them, one looks very much like the other. And then slowly, as time goes along, obviously there's the basics, like the fact that one is a male, one is a female, and that's pretty easy. That's a very easy distinction to make. But for our newer viewers, when it comes to identifying individual lions, the longer you spend looking at them, the more individual each one comes to be, and eventually you'll find that it happens automatically that you know, especially when you do what we do, which is stare through the eyes of the camera. We get right up close in a way that you wouldn't when you're sitting on a vehicle. But there's lots of different features that we look for, one of which the scientists use. The people who research lions, they look at the whisker spot patterns, because scars come and go, Injuries come and go, but whisker spot patterns are the same from or throughout their lives. So those are what the researchers use to make absolutely certain that they're dealing with the same lion. And, you know, sometimes it does happen where all of a sudden a lion turns up with a massive gash across its face or something like that and is no longer easily identifiable. And then the whisker spot patterns are the best way. And you slowly, as we become more and more acquainted with the prides, become more acquainted with each individual. And as a result, you can actually get to the point where you know each one. But I am not at that point with the sub-adults, except for the male, of course, because he's the only one. Oh, good grief. Angela has got a question that I don't... You know, I would have sort of been able to talk you through the answer about 2 years ago. Angela's question is, do all lions have the same blood type? Now, I remember being asked this about baboons, and the answer was no. They had an additional... Oh, no, how can I not remember this? It's something I thought I would never forget. Stop talking in my ear. Not you, Emma. The Game Drive radio. Sorry. My head nearly exploded. What was I talking about? Oh, blood types. Yes, no wonder I couldn't. No wonder I couldn't do both. Normally I could listen and speak at the same time, but in this case it was completely befuddling me. I have absolutely no idea, and I'm going to say I don't think so. I don't think that lions have the same blood type. All right, to go back to basics, obviously humans have different types of blood types. You've got A, you've got B, you've got O, and then you have the whether or not it's positive or negative. And certain blood types can donate to other blood types and certain cannot. So you get universal donors, of course, your O types, and then you get the very rare types of blood type, which is sort of something to do with AB negative. I think it's AB negative is the rarest. Could be wrong. I can't remember my own blood type. Marvelous. According to the Google, Emma's been using the Google. Emma is the lovely voice in my ear from Johannesburg. The Google tells us that domestic cats can only have 2 different types of blood type. I had a feeling it was different for cats and dogs and so on. I mean, if anything, you'd get similarities within apes being our closest relatives. But I have no idea what those blood types would be, and I really should know. I just don't think I've ever thought about it. It's a really, really good question. I mean, what happens if a lion needs a blood transfusion? Oh, now you're calling me. Someone calling me? Well, they can call again because I turned the radio down. Awesome. Okay. Lions everywhere. We have not introduced the third member of our trio for the afternoon. His name is Isaac, and he is all the way in Kenya.
Yes. Good afternoon and welcome to the Masai Mara. Over here I have some beautiful lions just in front of me. These are the Sausage Tree Pride, and they're just resting, looking for what they're gonna go for. Well, my name is Isaac, and in camera is Moravi or James, and we're here in the beautiful plains of the Masai Mara. I understand you are talking about blood types of lion. There is A and B, and I don't know how they knew that. I'm sure they have done lots of research, and that's why they found out that. Today, I have 5 members of the Sausage Tree Pride, and they look like they're on a prowl, looking for something. All 5 of them are here, including Kinky Tail, who has been missing. She had gone away on maternity leave to give birth, and she is here, and I can see that her belly looks not as heavy, and so I think she's got some cubs somewhere. Hopefully, I will be able to follow her and show you the cubs, maybe today or tomorrow, the next coming weeks, but now I know she's got cubs. See how they can quickly disappear? In the long grass, the grass is very, very long. It's almost 3 feet long in some areas, and and it's very hard to find a lion if a lion lies down. Look at that, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. I think that is Mitty, one of the lionesses, with a scar across the nose. Yes, look at their legs, the forelegs. You see all the muscles. About 60% of a lion's body is all muscle. So you can imagine how strong they are. She looks like a bodybuilder's hand. You see that? Quite powerful. This female here, I would say she weighs easy 100 kilos, which is around 200 pounds. And she can bring down something 3 times her size. She's looking for something. Yeah, lie down, pull up. Now you cannot see her. This is why it is not advisable to walk here without good leadership or somebody who knows this area, or with a gun, because they can lie anywhere and it's very dangerous to walk here, so we don't walk. Over here there's plenty of food, but like in buffalo and other animals, but I don't see any on this side. Well, while I observe these guys and see what they're doing, I'll take you to Jamie, who's got some lions also. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, perfect timing. My lioness is head-butting a tree. Now she's stuck her head through it. Ah, there she's out again. Beautiful girl. What is that all about? She has removed herself to very delicately relieve herself behind a tree. Very graceful. Thank you, girl. We're all deeply appreciative of that. Now, apparently, I'm not exactly sure. Actually, I could use some help here with how many lions were seen. We have a question from Sandra and Robbie, and Sandra wants to know what happened to the injured lion's leg. How did she get that injury? Well, we actually don't know, but the extraordinary thing is that she's actually had that wound for 1.5 years. So from 2017, around about September, October, she went into an area where we couldn't follow them. And when they reappeared, she had the most horrendous looking injury I've seen it's not the worst injury I've ever seen, but it's certainly one of the worst I've ever seen a lion come back from. And it's taken this long to get to the point that it is. It was a giant gaping hole around about the size, at least certainly in diameter, it was around about the size of a football or a soccer ball. It was enormous over the top of her hip, and we were all quite worried that she was actually going to die, but she didn't. She made it, and largely thanks to the fact, of course, that lions are social cats. They live in prides, and they love each other very much. They're very closely bonded, and as a result, she was well fed by the rest of the members of her pride. If she'd been a solitary cat, she most definitely would not have survived that, I don't think. But it just goes to show just how resilient these cats are. Now here in this area, nature is allowed to run its course, so injuries like that are not treated unless they're caused by humans. I think Tristan's theory as to what happened to her is probably one of the better ones. He thinks she might have climbed up something and fallen, because it didn't look like a buffalo injury, and it didn't look like an injury from another big cat. But the truth is, we'll never know. This lioness is also injured, or she has an old injury, except now she doesn't want us to see it. She got all shy there. She is blind in one eye, or she's got a very milky eye. And definitely hungry shame. Oh, big cuddle puddle of lions, all grooming where we can't see them. Saber, can I make your life easier by just moving around there? No, because that branch is going to be in your way. It is a bit of a tricky one. I don't actually think there's much we can do about this. But while I figure it out, off you pop across to Trist, who is, well, I don't know what he's doing now, because we've already found the lion, so let's find out from him where he is and what he's up to.
Well, we've managed to find exactly where we needed to be, because you can see we've got a vulture that is very low to the ground. And so while Jamie's lions are all sleeping, we've managed to just find the kind of ground zero spot, if you want to call it that. This is where most of the vulture activity is, and this vulture actually flew off the ground, and we managed to find a piece of a stomach that was here, but nothing else that I can see so far. So I'm not really sure what caused the dead animal to be here, what tracks are around yet. We haven't even had a chance to kind of jump out and have a little look, but there's no sign of any kind of predator, and no carcass that is whole. Like I said, just a little bit of a stomach that is here, which could be from those lions. Maybe they killed something small, although generally when lions kill things, they eat every little bit and there's nothing left. Could also have been from wild dogs. They might have killed something and left a few scraps behind. Could also have been from something like a leopard that pulled the stomach content out and then has dragged the carcass to one of these trees. But as yet, I don't find any sign of anything. Like I say, I can't see any sort of sign of a predator's tracks or anything like that. Now, a lot of you are wondering what is a favorite kind of food source for the vultures. Well, anything really. They can eat any kind of food. Generally, the more there is, the better, though, because then it allows them to get a bit of a meal. Sometimes they'll arrive at a carcass like this and they won't get much because there really isn't anything here. So they're attracted by all the other vultures in the area. They then arrive at the carcass and there's no sign of anything for them to eat. So bigger carcasses are always better for vultures, things like elephants and hippos and buffalo. And if they can find those, then they like them. But they are not too fussy. Doesn't matter if it's fresh or if it's very, very rotten. These guys will still feed off it. So you find them all the time. Now, in the tree behind this particular white-backed vulture that we've got sitting right in front of us, up to the right, there's a dead tree, and that's got a few different species of vultures that are there. So you can see, unfortunately, we've got a roof on because of the rain this afternoon, but there on the right are the hooded vultures. So like I was saying earlier, if you find these guys, generally they're the ones that will sit closest to the carcass. So always good to find them first and then kind of zero in on where they're sitting. And you can see they look very different to the other vulture that we showed you first, which was the white-backed, much smaller head and smaller beak, and they can then feed off little things. So they can find things that are that are in between the little ribs or the bones themselves and kind of take off those little scraps, whereas the white-backs with the much bigger, heavier set bill, they can't do that. So you can see there's a white-backed on the left. A white-backed is also much bigger, and so they'll eat a lot more meat than what the hoodeds will. And the hoodeds, unfortunately, have to wait until those guys are finished, generally, before they're actually able to feed on anything themselves. But these guys, I think, are pretty much done. Like I say, there's really not much that I can find. What I want to do, though, is I want to check around here to try and see if I can find a predator track that can give me an idea of what's happened here. There are tracks of baboons that come out of this area, and that might sound odd to you, but baboons sometimes will kill animals. They might have maybe killed a baby impala or something like that. They do it and then move off, and maybe that's what's caused the vultures to land here. It could, like I said, have been lions, could be leopard, could be wild dogs. But until such time as we find a track, it's going to be very difficult to know exactly which predator it was. And if it's something like a leopard, it's a good thing for us to know, because the leopard will be able to tell, well, maybe might be quite close and would have pulled the stomach out and has dragged the carcass somewhere into a tree somewhere close by, and we might be able to find it. So we just need to check. Good. Now, while we have a little look around and see what's going on, let's send you back across to Jamie and the lions.
Oh, there we go. We've managed to move around and get, never mind. I was going to say, no, it's not a bad view of our lions, who are very, very restless and definitely look as though they're keen to get moving sometime soon. So we had a brief view of one of the lionesses called Amber Eyes, or known as Amber Eyes, who we believe to be pregnant. She still looks pregnant, which is good. That means there's a good chance that we're right. And the rest of them could really do with a meal. The youngsters taking out their frustrations in a playful way on the trees around them. Oh dear, are we all getting up now? Bless you. There's always a few in the group that aren't quite ready for this whole getting up and moving thing. Understandable. Showing great reluctance. Oh. moving through, all stopping. They really like that tree. It's interesting because it seems to me, to my human eyes, without a fantastic sense of smell, that tree to me looks the same as every other tree around them. And hard to understand what it is that it makes it such an attractive prospect that they will wait in turns in order to stretch out their claw tendons and do a little bit of bark scraping. I don't know why they do that. It was funny earlier, we were watching Amber Eyes while she was scratching her elbow, and it was such a pleasant experience that her tongue was moving clearly without any conscious effort, as if she were grooming herself. It was hilarious. Okay, and there goes the last one, and they're about to cross the boundary. Hold on, folks. We're going to do some maneuvering. I think it might get a bit dangerous. Not dangerous. It's going to get a little bit messy, though. You okay there, Seb? Yeah. Just don't get hit. I'm going to try and get out a quicker way now that they're gone. I didn't come in this way because I didn't want to give them a fright, but we're going out this way. This is going to hurt. Is it going to hit the camera?
No, it will be
You're
fine.
good.
Yes.
Everybody duck. We're good. And we're off. Woohoo! That was easy. Huh. Bit of tree. Bit more tree. Not too much. No. Fiona, Amber Eyes has never managed to raise a cub, which means this is her year. Come on, this must be her year. Surely, this year she's going to be successful. Unfortunately, Amber Eyes, I think she's had 4 litters, and she's never managed to keep the cubs alive to, even as far as I know, a year old. So she's never managed to raise a litter to independence. There go our lions. I took the wrong road. Let us take the great road of the main. Or at least we can get a good view of them as they cross into an area where we cannot drive. Maybe they're going to lie here on the... Oh, boy. Michelle says, fingers crossed for sure. Michelle, I think we are... Well, they're lying down, which, you know, is great. They're on the boundary road. Well, all that means is that they're going to be very popular this afternoon because it is an area that all of the various lodges can drive. While I'm talking, I'm just going to put my canvas cover over my dashboard just to protect the delicate equipment. That is not a euphemism, that is our electronic equipment. Right. Here, look, see? Is that just the best scratch ever? Yes. They all have contracted mange from the Mangeni male, but it's fine. I mean, they're all showing symptoms of it, but they have been for weeks now, and they are going to be absolutely fine. It just goes to show how that natural resistance has paid off. Oh, is that better, girl? Yes? No? No, we're still scratching our elbow. Something so relatable about that, isn't there? Oh, shame. Scar hip is hurting her today. Sorry, I was just looking at her. She came and lay in front of us. Here's the Mangeni male. They're all going to choose to lie right here in the mitre drain. A magic dragon wizard would like to know if sorry, Seb, I don't know if you could see her there. You got her. Yeah. It wants to know if I think the wound will ever fully heal or if it's destined to be this for the rest of her life. I feel that compared to what it was, this is basically healed. But today it seems to be hurting her more than usual. I think it's the cold. It's obviously pulling on the muscles and she's limping a little bit. I suspect with where it is over her hip, if it does heal, it's still going to take a considerable period of time. You know, she can't rest it. She's not going to stop hunting. But you can see that it's taking its toll on her, or has taken its toll on her. She still hasn't completely regained the muscle mass that she lost over that period. And unfortunately, she's just not as young as she used to be. And her powers of healing are not going to be the same as they once were. Now, forgive me, I'm going to have to call this in on a different radio channel now. It would be helpful if she could put a plaster on it. But she can't, and she can't rest up. I can't even tell if this is people talking or just the static on my radio. Okay, wait, let me do this properly, rather than being distracted. Are there any stations making their way towards the Nkuhumas? Yes, no. Okay, copy yours. They're on Gowrie Main at Zoe's Junction. They're resting in the mitre drain here. Okay, copy. I'm going to be crossing onto the Western Channel just to call this in. Good afternoon, stations. If anyone can copy me, Jamie Wild Earth. The Nkuhumas are lying up on Gowrie Main at Zoe's Junction, so opposite Hoffman's. Okay, copy. Just myself, one northern station here for now. AFM, make your way. Okay, I'm just going to fiddle with the radio a little bit. There we go. Okay, cool. So we were talking about injuries. I don't know. I think that it could stay open for the rest of her life. I think typically lions, even lionesses, will not live far past 14. She's only 12, though, or around about 12, 13. So, no, she's about 12. So she should be okay. It really depends on how things go for the future of the pride as a whole. And there's our Mangeni boy at the back. He's looking good. He looks better and better every time I see him, although they're all hungry, so he could do with a good meal. And he still looks a bit scraggly. He still looks like the poor relation in this arrangement. Casting about, listening for potential prey. The biggest issue is that I cannot think of the last... well, I can. A group of lions like this needs quite a lot of food, obviously, because there's lots and lots of mouths to keep well fed. So they need to try and tackle large prey, and they just haven't had much success with that recently. And unfortunately, because it's been quite dry here, the big herds of buffalo haven't really made a return. There have been one or two moments where they've made their way across through and onto Djuma, but by and large they've been elsewhere. So as a result, the lions are really, really hungry at the moment. I also feel as though their dynamic is slightly off. Okay, we're going to sit with our rather cold and chilly lions on a cloudy day here in South Africa. The sun is shining upon the lions of the Mara.
Here we are still, and this is one of the youngsters in this beautiful sausage tree pride. He is about 5 months old, and he's got a brother, and then another cousin, the smaller one there, who's 4 months. This is one big family because all the big females you see there, their mother is also here. She's called Kinky Tail. I think they were all born at the same time because they're almost at the same age, and they stayed together. And right now they're out here, and I think they are looking for dinner. It is a great story because now these two females have 3 cubs in between them, one with 2 and one with 1, and then one of the other females to the right there, she's got 4 very cute little ones that are only about 6 weeks, and the mother had disappeared. We only saw her today. I actually saw her today. I've been trying to find her, which means she has given birth, and I don't know how many she has given birth. So it means this family has become bigger and better. This family, or a pride of lions, are known to mainly kill warthogs and buffalo. But today they are looking. I don't know what they're going to be going for. Lions can stay for up to 5 to 7 days after eating a good meal without eating. And they don't need to drink every day because whatever they eat has got a bit of water, so it can keep them going for a few more days. Jasmine, you say it's amazing how these cubs grow. Yes, they grow very fast as long as they are eating. They are fully dependent on the mom's milk for the first 2 months. Then onwards, they'll need to combine, solid food together with plenty and plenty of meat, and they can grow very fast. I tell you, I'm glad you mentioned that because this is a big kitty. 5 months, it's already like 3 times the normal size of a domestic cat at home. So it would be heavy, it would be expensive to feed it, to clean it. And that's why I think it's the best choice to leave them out here in the bush. But they're so cute. You sometimes want to go and cuddle them. They're so beautiful. They look like a big, teddy. Yeah, they're getting up. That's Limpy. Did you see her move? She had a limp. We call her Limpy. And only I can identify them when she starts moving because I see the limp and I can know her. Then when I look at the face of the other one, I can know that is Miti. We call Miti because she loves climbing trees, and in Swahili, a tree is called Miti. I don't know which one it is. I think this looks like, I think, no, I cannot identify. Looks like one of the daughters that we haven't given a name. Yeah, what about the other one, James, to the right? Let's see if we can see who she is. That one there. A bullock? No, doesn't want to be identified. I thought it was Kinky. Kinky has got like a kink in her tail. We don't know what it was caused by, but we only found her with the kink on the tail. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're going for, but yeah, let's see what they're going for. While they're doing this, let me send you to Jamie, to show you what she's got down in Kruger.
Luckily for us, a kinky tail is really, really easy for us to identify. She's a very special lion indeed. So there we have it. 2 lion prides in 2 different countries. That's not bad at all. Not a bad way to spend an afternoon on a Saturday, or a Cataday, as it is known. And I couldn't think of anything better than to be with the Nkuhuma Pride. I know them very, very well. I've spent a lot of time with them. I'm very fond of them. They are a special group indeed, especially when they're hidden behind sesame tree flowers, or sesame seed flowers. Winged sesame. It's very pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. Feeling very snoozy on a cool afternoon. All right, well, a big thank you to all of you who joined us on this Nat Geo Kids show. It's been an absolute joy having you with us, and I hope you enjoyed it. For the rest of our viewers, we will see you very shortly, and goodbye to those leaving us. We hope you had fun. Good afternoon and welcome to a continuation of our regular sunset safari where we are with a pride of lions here on a main road. Can you believe it? In a reserve known as Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Greater Kruger National Park. Bless you, Seb.
Thank you.
Seb, of course, is my cameraman. He is sitting behind me. Now, remember that if you would like your questions answered, you can do that on hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, alternatively in the comments section of YouTube. This is a live safari, and my name is Jamie. I nearly forgot that part because I was introducing Seb. So we're sitting with the Nkuhuma Pride of Lions, who have come perilously close to abandoning us and going south out of the area where we can drive, which would be greatly upsetting. Hopefully a buffalo comes running across the road to the north, and that sends them scurrying back there. There's the Mangeni male. I do feel as though a summary is necessary because that's a bit confusing. So most of you by now know who he is, but for someone who's just discovered this live stream, none of this makes sense. Each and every single lion pride is given a name out here in order to identify the different lion prides. And a lion pride consists of females and their related offspring. It does not include unrelated lions, except in the odd, very rare circumstance, which is what we have here, where this young male, really down on his luck, along with two of his relatives, male relatives. Bless you, Seb. Okay, back there. My goodness. Something's obviously blown up Seb's nose, possibly while we were off-roading for the lions. Where was I? Oh, yes. Now, he does not belong to this pride. He is a young male that just happened to decide that this was where he might find a welcome. And he went through a very bad case of mange. He's been very ill, and he has only just recovered and is now looking a little bit better and magically, marvelously, seems to have been accepted by the Nkuhumas, who are actually outrightly affectionate towards him now. Like he's still not quite integrated into the pride itself. It's a great life being a lion, living together with a group for the rest of your life, perhaps somewhat lonely for the solitary tortoise.
Well, especially if you're not even a tortoise and you're a terrapin, it's incredibly challenging to be a mimic of a tortoise and to be able to try and kind of blend in. But this is as big a terrapin as you're ever going to see. It is a beast terrapin and has a big shell that almost looks like a kind of World War II helmet. But anyway, the terrapin's kind of walking down the road with these wet conditions that we've got at the moment. It's perfect kind of weather for terrapins to change from one pan to another and to try and find somewhere else to go and find food and maybe even find love. And you can see it's just kind of looking around to check what is going on and to sniff the breeze and see where its next port of call is. It's probably also waiting for me to get out of the way so that it can carry on. Now, they are not the greatest of walkers, especially at that size. You can see life is a bit tricky when you're that big. It's quite heavy to kind of pick that shell up and move around. Now, one of the Niconico viewers, you're saying is Hosana's pillow. It was a little bit hard for Hosana. Hosana likes softer pillows. He likes lungs and hearts and the likes, but this is a little bit on the sort of hard side. No, don't come underneath the car. Hold on, we're going to have to reverse because this fella is going to go under the car, which is never a good thing. So we're going to just try and move out of its way and try and find a way around this terrapin. Are you quite glad that you made us move? I suppose we could have just made a plan, but this terrapin is definitely on its way. Now, this will be a big old terrapin, excuse the bards. We have rain, obviously, so we have roofs on at the moment. It is a sassy terrapin, so it's probably lived a long time, and hence why it is a little bit sassy. And you can see it's even got staining on its shell from kind of years and years of bobbing about. There's a little bit of kind of staining that's taken place with a bit of sort of green algae-ish like substances that have grown on there, which is, I suppose, fairly typical. Hello. Very, very interesting. Anyway, there was baboons shouting. That's why we're in this area. So we came away from where that carcass is. We found the stomach content of a very large animal. Looked like maybe something like a kudu, but no sign of any predators. Elephants have walked there. Vultures have gone there, and we can't find any tracks. I'm surprised, though, we didn't find any legs or bones or anything like that. Just the stomach. So wherever it was killed was not there. It's just been dragged around into that area. And so maybe the baboon shouting is whoever made that kill is going for water or something like that. So we're going to just try and see what we can find. Now, before we kind of carry on, there is a massive stump there, so we're not going to be able to go there. Terrapin, you see what you're doing. I forgot also to say hello to all of you. My name is Tristan on camera. I've got Craig, and so hopefully you'll enjoy the next little bit with us. Anyway, after that's all done, let's send you across to Isaac up in the Mara so he can say good afternoon to all of you.
Here I am still, if you didn't see me earlier. I am here and it's all happening quite slowly, but it can escalate quite fast. These sausage tree pride females are on a hunt. I came here and I have found that this buffalo is in great trouble and danger. She has been mauled on her backside quite badly. He can hardly walk. All that is blood. I don't know how much of it he has lost, but it is drying up, so it means this has happened quite a while. You can say even the knees, the ankles over there have all been chewed. I think this has been happening for the last 3 hours, but he's trying to walk, but he's very, 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 very weak. And I feel sorry for him, but at this stage, he has no chance. These lionesses are known and are very notorious in bringing down buffalo, and here they're just to prove again that they're still on it. One amazing and most wonderful thing that is unfolding at the moment is that all 5 females of the sausage tree pride are all here. In case you don't know and what I'm talking about, and you haven't joined us before, this sausage tree pride, we have been following them for quite a while. They are a member of about 5 females, 4 females belonging to 1 female, and they are known for bringing down buffalo. Kinky Tail is their mother, and she's here. She had been missing for about 4 days. I have been looking for her all over, and I came around here and I saw 5 and I knew she was going to be here. When they're seated like that, it's rather hard for me to tell you what I think she's the one to the right. She's got a kink on her tail, and it means she has given birth and she's hiding the cubs somewhere. One of the most experienced female lionesses that I've ever met. They're quite a distance away from this buffalo. Take care, you ask, if lionesses do grimace. Yes, they do. I don't know for what reason, but I'm sure they use it for different reasons, either to tell maybe if, whoever has peed there, the urine they're testing, they check if it's a pride member or a male belonging to their pride. I think that's what they use it for. But they do it, and it's rather funny when you see them doing it. That is a very nasty injury. If you saw it, it is a very nasty injury. This guy, poor guy, has been standing, trying to face them off, but there's nobody to protect him, and the lioness are not giving in. You can see he's breathing quite fast. Things are not... Dr. You say, where is the rest of the buffalo? There is about 8 of them behind me, to my left, and quite a distance away, which means if he happens to be brought down, if he moves, then everybody will come for rescue. I have seen that happen, and I don't know if this is why the female lionesses are taking their time, hoping that the other guys will go away so they can do it without the others coming in here. Yeah, they are not very far from where we are, the other ones. It has been a standoff for about 1 hour since I've been here. So I don't know how much longer it's gonna take. I hope you have enough time, because I'm not leaving this spot. This is one of my favorite animals, the lioness, lion, doing what it does best. I feel very sorry for the buffalo, but, if I feel very sorry about him, then, they will overpopulate these plains. They'll graze off the grass, and there will be nobody to take care of them. So the lion has to eat, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know what to say, but this is one amazing thing that I'd like to share with you. People see wildebeest hunt, zebra hunt, buffalo hunt is a fight of titans, and the most ultimate kill that you want to see, or anybody would like to see, is a buffalo hunt, and it's unfolding right in front of my eyes. Yep, you can't tell where the lionesses are. They're hiding. This is a waiting game to see who's gonna... Yes, this is a waiting game, and see who will outlast one another. While I continue waiting here, not to bore you very much with the waiting, I'll send you to Jamie with some different lions in a different style.
Awesome timing. Give me 1 second. Nobody's my fault. I just decided I wanted to be here with the rest of the lions instead of where I was. Oh, nearly swallowed a fly. Okay, there we go. Hi, guys. Oh, you're nervous. Unusually so for the Ninkipumas. I was going to try get that pole, but I think I'm just going to stay like this. So. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. What's up with you guys? Never look at me like that. It's odd. Right. I was going to tell you... Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you a story while our lions sleep. So I was sitting now with Seb, and I... Oh, hold on. Daniel wants to know why I said that the dynamic was off. I had this theory a couple of months ago, and I don't know if it's still applicable or not. But my feeling with the Nkuhumas was that they were not quite the solid team that they once were. I noticed I no longer see it. But about a month or two ago, I noticed that when the Nkuhumas were in situations where they were resting, and the sort of standard lion scene where one gets up and goes and rubs heads with the other, they were aggressive towards each other. They were snappy and growling and really just not 100%... I don't know how to explain it exactly. They were just... They weren't quite themselves, their usual affectionate self. And I thought that perhaps it might have been because of the presence of the Mangeni male combined with the arrival of the evokers. And I don't know, perhaps the Mangeni male actually had nothing to do with it. I don't know if he threw off their vibe, or if maybe all of the youngsters at the moment are, because they're not particularly successful when it comes to hunting yet, they haven't fully learnt their lessons, that perhaps they still had they were messing up the hunts. Unless it's just that they're not targeting big kills because they know that the evokers are going to come and steal it from them. I don't know if that's or maybe not even steal it from them, but perhaps they don't want the evokers feeding near the young males. So whatever it is, they've gone from being tremendous buffalo hunters to a very low success rate. When last did we see last time we saw the Nkuhumas on a buffalo kill was when, I think it must have been October, maybe early November. Whenever we started the SABC TV shows, that very first TV show, we had them on a buffalo kill. And that was the last time that I know of. And I haven't... Oh no, am I talking nonsense? No, I am talking nonsense because I think they had one on Chitwa. But my point still stands. My point is really that we've become very accustomed to seeing the Nkuhumas very successful. Maybe it's just yes, that's right. Just before I came back to work. So they did have one on Chitwa. I don't know, maybe it's just a lack of buffalo. But to me, their dynamic was off for a little while. They were growly, they were snappy, they were not affectionate. Okay, quickly, off you go across to Isaac. He's been sitting on that situation with the buffalo. Let's go and find out if something's going to change.
Yes, they are up. They are up and trying to suckle the poor buffalo. Yes. Well, here I am with the Sausage Tree Pride, and they are on a hunt, and what they are going for is what they are best at. They are going for buffalo. My name is Isaac, and in camera is James. We are here quite far distance in the territory of the Sausage Tree Pride, and this buffalo is trying to chase them away, but you can tell the lionesses know it has gotten very weak, and they know any time from now it's going to sit down, and then that will be time that they're going to jump on it. This hunt has got 5 females and 3... Yes, crazy. You say the cubs have got to be careful. Yes, they have to be very careful. They are only about 4 months and 3 months old, and they're not experienced, but what they're doing here is actually annoying the buffalo, so it's get tired, and at the same time, they are getting skills to be able to become good hunters in the near future. It is also quite dangerous for them, because if this buffalo decides to use the last bit of strength that it's got, it can trample them or gore them. But I think they are aware and they know that this buffalo has gotten very weak and it cannot run 10 meters without stopping. And this is the case here. The strategy here is to tire it as much as possible. While, you are not with me, the buffalo had gotten so tired, it sat down and they all stood up and went straight for it. But then when he stood up, they all went down. This is a very big buffalo. Although he looks old, he still could use that bit. He can use the stick, he can use the last bit of energy and actually kill one of the lionesses. About the Sausage Tree Pride, for whoever is joining us, remember this is live, and you can join us on hashtag SafariLive, or you can live stream on YouTube. If you don't know about the Sausage Tree Pride, I will tell you a little bit about them. This is a family of 5 lionesses who are dominated by Oldonyo Payak males, and there are 2 of them, but they come in and go, so they're not here at the moment. These 5 lionesses are all related. They are daughters of an older lioness, and she's here. She's called Kinky Tail. In total, over here, there is about 8 lions and lionesses. There are 5 lionesses that we know, and 3 young males are about 5 months and 4 months. Kinky Tail has been missing for about 4 days, and I have been looking all over for her. And this is the first time I'm seeing her. And the reason she has been missing is she was very expectant. Last time I saw her on a buffalo kill about 5 days ago, she disappeared on me, and I'm seeing her here. I'm hoping that either today or tomorrow morning when I come, or my colleague David comes, he will be able to follow her, and she can show us where the new bundle of joy is. Otherwise, Mitty is also present here. Mitty is one of the daughters, and she's got 4 cute cubs. Cool Breeze, you are saying, why are the buffaloes not rescuing him? It is a wild behavior where it's everybody for themselves when real danger comes. I am sure maybe when it started they were all together, but soon after this guy was overwhelmed, they thought it would be better to save themselves, and so they left. But I am sure if he calls or puts up the distress call, they will come back, because they're only about 100 meters from here. And I think that is why also the lionesses are being very careful, because the moment he puts up that distress call, then all the big boys will come, and these lionesses will be no match for those, boys. There are so many, and I can see them from here. It's unfortunate that, our vehicle is covered from the back, so we cannot turn 360 degrees, but we will show them to you later. So this is what all is happening, and although it looks like it is not active, there is a lot of tension between those lionesses and that buffalo. It is a situation I'll never wish it for any one of us. I'll leave it to lions and buffaloes. I wonder what's going on through that buffalo's mind. Davia, you ask, why would the lionesses take him from the back? That would be ideal, actually, but that is what the buffalo is protecting. And if you saw the injuries, they are all at the back. They usually try and come from all angles and then jump from the back and then pull him down from the back, then to get to the neck and, shut him down. Those horns are very lethal. If they happen to hook one, it could also die. So they avoid the horns, and that's why the buffalo is facing them. That's a standoff. It will try and face them so that it can chase them, from the front. But the lionesses will try and go behind. But the buffalo will try and put them in front of him so that he's got sight of all of them, and that neutralizes the threat, or he knows that he's safe when they're in front. If there's one behind, then he is not safe, and that's what he's playing here. He's telling them, I have you all, there's nothing you can do to me. Mrs. Ananda, you ask, where are the Oldonyo Pike? Actually, these males don't only dominate this pride. They have a few other prides that they dominate around this area because they are quite big and very intimidating, and they only come to ensure that all is well in this territory, to mate with the females that are in season, and also to give the females confidence that they are still around and nobody else should be around. And I call it a meeting of convenience, because they only come when they need to and then go, unlike other prides where males stick for forever. Here they come in and go. The buffalo is trying to get away. I don't know what's going to happen. You can tell he's quite injured. He cannot go fast. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going to be happening soon. Yes, you all say it's very tense, but yes, it is. You are over there, you're tense. Yes, well, it's very tense, and I hope, it's, you remain there. Well, I'll, close it up here for those unscheduled viewers. Goodbye for now, but if anything happens, we'll be right back with you guys for more updates on what's unfolding. Yep, here we are. The standoff persists. It is unfortunate that, this guy sometimes today will have to go down, but for every couple of days, one of the grazers has to sacrifice his life for the rest to survive, and this is the case here. Yes, because I don't know how long the standoff is going to be. I'll send you down to Kruger, in Greater Kruger in Juma, where Tristan, I think, is having some fun down there.
Well, it sounds like a very, very cool sighting that Isaac has got playing out there. Well, maybe not cool, but an interesting one, let's put it that way, between that buffalo and those lions. And, well, can't say that we have had any luck remotely close to what Jamie and Isaac have had. In fact, we have seen nothing other than branches blowing in the wind, which is par for the course, I suppose. Sometimes it does happen at times. But we're going to try and check. We're going to try and see if we can check just Treehouse quickly, and then I might go back to where those vultures were. You never know, maybe the kind of commotion of all those vultures attracts one of the leopards to where that stomach content is, and we see one of them coming into that area. Tingana was seen this morning not too far from there, so we know he often will scavenge things, and if he sees enough sign of vultures and things, you never know, maybe he goes there. So we'll just double check and see what's happening, but we'll check Treehouse Dam first. It's not really a day for animals to go towards water points, but you never know. Maybe he's just resting up there and taking it easy. Apparently he was kind of heading towards where James had Tundi and Kalamba yesterday, but that he kind of just was in that mobile in that direction. What's going on here? There's trucks going along here, but before the rain. So those don't help. That's before the rain, which must have been last night. So obviously this is the way he came. To see... I wonder, maybe. Let's just check Treehouse Dam anyway. And in the meantime, though, we're going to send you across to Jamie, who... Well, she's got the lions. They're staying put, apparently, for now. So hopefully they will continue to stay put for the rehearsal.
Okay, Tristan, good luck, good luck. I hope he manages to find something. We are rapidly running out of luck ourselves, because if this pile of Nkuhumas goes to the main road, I've actually moved out of the main road sighting so that the guests, I think there's actually 3 vehicles down there on the main road. So I've moved up to the fire break. If and when these lions get up and move away, then we're going to have to leave them for a bit. And then hopefully they're still here when we have an opportunity to come back. I love it when they rest their paws up against trees like that. Looks so comfortable. Never comfortable when I've tried it. Not that I've tried to rest them on trees, but I've put my arms up when I've been lying on my side, and doesn't feel quite the same, does it? You just end up with an uncomfortable shoulder. Oh, I was telling you a story, but then I forgot because of the question. So the marulas are fruiting quite heavily at the moment, and of course they're dropping their fruits left, right, and centre. And last night I went with Ali from the main camp back home, and Seb and Tristan were in the car behind us, but they were quite a bit behind us. And as we went to drive round the corner on the only road we could take to get home, there was a big elephant bull standing eating marulas, and he just wasn't going to move. And he just immediately was looking at us as if he was grouchy from the start. So we sat quietly next to him, and we waited, and eventually sort of half turned, so we tried to sneak forward, and he just turned around and gave us this huge, you know how they do, big head shake, big bolshy boy. And he went to the marula tree. He went as if he was going to push it onto the car. And he slammed his head up against it and gave it a good shake. But of course, because he shaked it, because he shook it, all the marula trees came off, all the marula fruits came off and hit the roof of Ali's car. And he got such a fright that he immediately turned tail straight out, and ran away from us. It was hilarious. He gave himself the fright. I mean, we didn't have to do anything. Admittedly, we then tried to drive, and he came charging out of the darkness again, and I had to hit Ali's car and shout at him. But it was funny. It was just so funny because it was so clearly he was going to try and intimidate us by trying to push the tree on our car, well, on Ali's car. And it backfired so monumentally. It was a highly relatable feeling. Silly boy. Now, Inga and Linda would like to know if I have seen the other Mangeni males. I haven't. I've heard that the one is with the Southern Pride, which is quite far away from where we are now. It's very far south. But I have not had that confirmed by the guides on the group. I will double check with them when the opportunity presents itself. The third, I do not know where the third is. I haven't heard anything about him. So, I mean, there is a possibility that he didn't make it. We just don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. I would have expected him to be somewhere around. Oh, everybody's getting proper cleans this afternoon. Okay, well, I'm sure our lions are sitting, waiting, hoping for a scenario like the sausage tree scenario. Unfortunately, while it's unlikely to happen here, it is most definitely happening right now in the Mara. What a terrible sentence.
Here the lionesses are up, and the buffalo has sat down about 30 meters from where they are. This buffalo is very, very tired. Very, very tired. If the males were here, this would have been done long time ago. You can tell he's breathing very fast because, he hasn't drunk a drink, he hasn't eaten, and he's also injured, he's afraid, all those negative things that you can imagine. The lionesses are coming, you see that, and they actually are openly showing him that, okay, they sat down, we're coming. The reason they're being cautious is that the herd of buffalo behind me is watching from a distance. I don't think they have picked the lioness or the buffalo, but the lioness can see them, so they are being very cautious, and they have young ones, so I'm sure they are discussing, is it the right time to go for this or not? But for sure, this buffalo, sometimes, if not now, later on in the night, it will die. Poor guy. Yes, this You know, pride of lions, since I knew them, since I learned about them, Dr. Rob, you said get it down, they're moving in, and actually they're just not even hiding. They're like, you know, we're going to get you. They're just coming. These pride of lions, I know them. They're masters in killing buffalo. And the few times I've seen them eating, they've always been eating buffalo. I don't know how long this is gonna go on for, but you can tell they're moving in. It is very tense now. I'm sure the buffalo has rested a little bit. And now he's got like another 10 minutes of energy to fight back. You see the one, that female is looking to the right. He's looking at those buffaloes, you know, behind me. That is the strategy they do, where they fan out. So they actually... Giraffe girl, you ask if the cubbies will stay behind. Surprisingly, once it starts happening, they'll join in. I was, you know, earlier on, I don't know if you saw, but they're so brave. They're coming in from all angles. They're so brave, little ones. And actually, they're learning from the best. It's actually quite a dangerous situation, or a way of introducing them to a kill, because this is a very dangerous animal to go for. It might look like it's very close, but from where we are, but I cannot tell you the distance. But they're moving in. They're moving in. I'm quite a distance away. I'm very, you know, quite a distance away. We're only using our super powerful zoom to zoom this. I don't want to interfere with the situation. I like it to happen as natural as possible. So I'm quite far away. These lionesses feed on buffalo in this area. Yesterday, they nearly hunted giraffe, but it is hard for me to interfere with what is happening, and even to try and save the cubs. So there is nothing we can do here. Looks like they're moving in. I don't know how close they are now, but they're moving in. Yeah, let's wait a little bit. This is happening. They are coming from different directions. There is a lioness that is to the left, and she is crouched. That is the one. She's hiding in the grass, and I think she wants to come in from behind. Then there is those three. I don't know what they're looking at to the left, but there could have been another buffalo that went that way. That's what they're looking for. Everything has to be perfect. They also have to be very careful, because they have young ones. Yeah, you know, there is tension here, and they have to be very careful on what they are doing. All of you watching, if I would ask you while this is unfolding, one word that you would give to this, you could tweet us on #SafariLive and give, you know, caption this. How would you caption it? You know, give us one word for that. It's all happening. Look at that little guy, you know. He's gone to the left. That female is going. There's another cub there, another female going to the left. And if they get it when it's down like that, it is going to be done so fast, because one is going to hold on the nose, then the other one is going to hold on the neck, and the other ones are going to anchor it in the tummy so that it doesn't stand up, and it's going to be very, very loud. Yeah, they seems to be taking their time. I don't want to die this way, you know, seeing my death, and then somebody who's going to kill me, looking to the side and saying, you know, I'm not ready. You better do it fast. I see they're not. They know he has no chance, and they're taking their time. I hope they can do it in daylight, so that I can give you a better picture. But who am I to say anything? They know what they're doing. Buffaloes actually don't go down easy. I have seen a buffalo that killed a lioness. The injuries were so bad that she died about half an hour after the buffalo was dead. It was about 11 female lionesses. They cornered this big bull buffalo. They brought it down. Ravinda, you say tense? Good one. Yeah, keep them coming, keep them flowing. I would like to hear more because it's actually very tense. That's the first one. Let's hear some more. Yes, and the 11 females cornered this big buffalo, and there was a lot of blood going on. But he managed to hook one lioness very close to the ribs, and I think the horn went straight to the heart. The adrenaline was still kicking, so the lioness didn't die immediately, but soon after it died, the buffalo died, the lioness walked off, and she died. It was rather a sad ending for the lioness because, she had made a kill of what she wanted, but she didn't eat it. Yeah, it was rather sad ending. But, yeah, so... Yes, while I wait a little bit more, let me, ease the tense a little bit and take you down to Jamie, who's got some different lions doing something different.
Well, yes. They're certainly not as serious as the Sausage Tree Pride are about any hunting at the moment. So, while they're not playful yet, there's a good chance that they could be. It looked like they might have been this morning while they were on the sunrise safari. For now, though, they're largely just sleepy, which we should all be thankful for, because otherwise they may well have absolutely vanished at some point and gone down across onto the boundary. As I said, once these guys move, it makes things a bit more difficult. Speaking of making things easier, we're watching them in colour at the moment. Obviously, it's still light here in South Africa, but we actually popped the flare on just because I love looking at the lions in flare. It's one of my favourite things. The flare, for those of you that don't know, is the thermal camera, and it allows us, basically it's a camera that picks up on the body heat of the lions, and it's really, really cool. I absolutely love it, especially when you can see the warmth on the ground where they were once lying down. It's absolutely fascinating, and you can see all the injuries, even injuries that you actually didn't even know the lions had. You can see the coolness of their wrinkles. There's a little head rub at the back there. I just really enjoy watching it because it gives us a whole different dynamic insight into the way that these cats are and the way that they're designed. I especially love watching elephants through the flare. I find that utterly fascinating. And you can actually see how when they lie down, one side gets warmer than the other. Look at the inside of its legs, so much warmer. And its paws, actually. The paws are so much warmer. Emma's being punny this afternoon. She says it's cool seeing the heat. I get you. You can still see, look at it fading. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And it's quite chilly this afternoon. It is actually chilly. So it really shows up quite clearly. You even see the mange patches on their elbows. It's cool. And back into normal color, because after a while, the slightly confusing color combination can be a little bit disconcerting. Are you all coming back this way? Yes, there's a good kitty cat. Come on, come back this way. I can see the Mangeni male heading in this direction. Is he going to come this way? That's good. That's a good sign. The problem is that the scar hip and hasn't made her way here, and she's the one who keeps leading them this afternoon. All right. Not much is going to happen here. They're either going to stay or they're going to go, but Isaac's situation could change at any moment.
They all are moving in now. The buffalo is still down, and the all girls are moving in. I don't know if the buffalo has given in, but he's not going. Oh, okay. I think let's go to unschedule. Yeah. Yeah, they're up now. I don't know. If this is the moment. Yeah. Welcome back, and the hunt is on. This very injured buffalo is under siege by the Sausage Tree Pride. I am here witnessing this live happening. There we go. One female has put the anchor. Yeah, and that call might attract the others. Yeah, they're all on him. They're biting his ankles, his knees. Yeah, it's all happening. And the other buffaloes might come in to help. That is trying, the female at the back is trying to pull him down, while the others is biting the legs. You see, they're trying to bite off the legs so he's disabled. If it manages to go, he won't survive. Yeah. Is he gonna go down? Yes. That is the distress call. Oh, he's going down. He's gone down. Okay, this might be over because you're gonna see one is gonna bite him all the way to the neck, and then it's gonna be over. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It is quite sad. That one has gone for the bite. It's called Keys of Death. Now it has keys. There'll be no more noise, and it's trying to stop him from breathing. And off to my right here, the cavalry is coming. All the others are coming. You can see them here. They're all coming for rescue, but they're being very cautious. These are the ones that I was talking about. That distress call is the one that has attracted them. I don't know if they'll be able to succeed and be here before this guy dies, because if he dies, then they'll be able to chase him away. It's all happening very fast. Yes, it's a game changer. It might happen very fast. You see that Keys of Death? They are on the throat. They are. Passion, you say amazing, it is amazing. It's one of those things that everyone wants to see. I'm going to change positions, so hold on tight, don't go anywhere. Keep the camera on that, please. Let's try and keep it. I think it's over for this guy. I don't think he's going to make it unless these guys... the cavalry is still coming. I'm just going to stop in a distance where I will allow, them to come in if they need to. So we're here. You can hear the noises. Everything is happening. That female is trying to close the windpipe. While you say the card is quite far away, and yes, they're quite far away. They might decide to come, or they might not decide. Who am I to say anything? That female is being very careful. She's got the eyes on the herd at the same time, trying to close off the windpipe and stop this guy from breathing. Meanwhile, the other guys are trying to eat him alive. So in case the cavalry comes and try to save him, he won't survive. See, that is Sausage trying to anchor him so he doesn't stand up. That is Sausage, sorry, that is Kinky Tail. Messia, you say the cubs need to hide? Well, that is not in their vocabulary. That word is not there. They are lions and they are fearless, and you can tell these guys are fearless, and they are actually starting to eat already. This is how, bad they are, how, the behavior of lions they portray from a very young age. I haven't gone to the other side, but I'm sure they have opened this guy up. Yeah, Kinky is trying to anchor this guy so he doesn't stand up, and one of her daughters is trying to close off and shut the nose. You see that? Giraffe Girl, you say if the kick could injure a lion, yes, it could. It could. And they have to be very careful, although it's getting weaker and weaker. The buffaloes to my right have stopped. So it means maybe they have, realized that this guy has got no chance, even if they come. Brian, you say this is how the cubs learn? Yes, this is how they learn. And these are tough little guys. They will be, I think, tougher than this. You see, look at that one at the back. He's actually observing those buffaloes at a distance. I think he's going to be one of the, badass, sorry to mention that name, lions over here. Yes, it's all happening. Lynn, you ask, how many cubs are here? There are 3, and 2 of them are 5 months and 1 is 4 months. That girl is still holding on the nose, closing off all the airway, making sure this buffalo is not going to come back to life. It has happened very fast, and I think these lionesses knew they were taking their time until the right moment, and they have come. You can tell that we see the buffalo trying to breathe. But no, yeah, Kinky is actually licking the skin, and that is trying to make it smooth. Maya, you say it's crazy to watch it from Houston. I'm glad you're joining in. We did ask for a caption for this earlier. I don't know how many we've gotten, but it is crazy actually. It's one of those things that everybody would like to see, and it does happen. And this is how these guys make their living. They have no other way. They have to make a kill, and sometimes it forces them to kill such a big animal. And today, it was inevitable. It was written. It was going to happen. From the beginning, this buffalo looked weak, and he was giving in. It was bound to happen, and it has happened. That is Kinky. You see the kink in the tail? Yeah, beautiful. So happy to see her. Yeah. Yes, they are to my right. To my right, I'll move a little bit, and we'll show them to you slightly. They're over here. They're not very far. It's the angle of the camera. They're all here. There they are. They've stopped about 100 meters. I don't know what's going on their mind. This is the brave one. He's the one in front. But you see, I don't know, looks like they've decided that it's over. It's rather sad, but what can I do? I would say, I don't know how much time they fought this buffalo before I arrived, but these happen very fast. Usually it goes on for a little bit. I'm still thinking they might come, but even if they come, it is over for this huge male buffalo. That one is the second one that came and tried to come, but he's turned around. It's very hard for me to say what is going to happen here. They might come or they might not come. It is hard to say. I don't know what's going on in their mind. All of them are very focused on the lions. Mrs. Lapwing, you ask if there are vultures ready? No. I think this time of day, we might not see any vulture because I don't know where you are, but where I am, it's already like 5 minutes to 7 o'clock in the evening, and we're losing light very fast. So sooner or later, we'll have to go to our infrared camera that allows us to observe these great moments unfolding without disturbing the animals. Yeah, you can tell they've started eating already. You can hear the chewing. Let me go quiet a little bit. Yes, well, thank you everybody who's joining me for the unscheduled broadcast. I've been Isaac, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, see you in a moment. Well, welcome back, and it all has happened, and it has happened very, very fast. I hope you're still joining me on this on this live broadcast. This is SafariLive. Join us on lots on conversation on hashtag SafariLive. In case you haven't watched it before, you can stream us on YouTube. And these are the Sausage Tree Pride doing what they are best at, killing buffalo. We just witnessed one of the most epic, fastest kill of buffalo ever. I'm gonna go around so we can give you a different angle where we can have the buffalo and the lions in the same shot. So hold on tight. It's actually, the temperature is also dropping very fast. I don't know if that's what the lionesses were waiting for. I don't know, maybe they were waiting for that. But it has happened very fast, very, very fast. The lioness that closed the mouth and the muzzle is actually out. I think she used a lot of energy, and right now she's trying to recover it. So she's, yeah, well, thank you for appreciating. Rather sad for the buffalo, but the lions have to eat. Yeah, you can tell everybody is trying to eat as fast as possible because they don't know if that calvary of bull buffaloes is gonna come. Yes, it's all live, it's all happening. Yeah, this kill was worth it for these lionesses. They waited for a very long time. I was here about 2.5 hours ago. I waited, and it has happened. I think it has paid off. Well, this is a meal that is gonna sustain these girls for another about 3 days. Most of them are lactating, so they need milk, and this will provide them with enough energy to provide that milk that they need for their youngsters. This lioness that's not feeding is the one that actually was holding the mouth and the nose. I think it was meaty. Yeah. Toy, yes, you have experienced one. Thank you for joining in on that. Yes, it happened, and it happened very fast. Yes, it's all happening, and they're eating now their trophy. Yes. Well, for everybody who's been joining us and watching, I really appreciate your time that you've given us. So on behalf of me and my crew, James, cameraman, Isaac, the entire team from SafariLive, have a good evening and see you tomorrow.